Welcome back to the Black Evolution, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dabney, and we're going to talk about three topics. We're going to talk about Philadelphia police shooting, the election, and Lil Wayne's ignorance. Let's go ahead and get into it. So, I have a very special guest in the building. His name is Tyler Robertson, aka Mr. Kid Klutch. How you doing, young brother?
I'm doing good, Daniel. It's always good to be on here with you. Thank you.
It's always good to have you on here, man. Always good to have you. So, let's get into the first topic. There was a police shooting in Philadelphia, of police shooting an armed black man with a knife. His name was Walter Wallace, and he apparently had mental illness. There was a video that's been circulating all around the world this week, or all around the United States, I should say, and about the shooting. This has caused uproar within our community, specifically within the black community. So, Tyler, how do you feel about the situation?
I think this is just has to stop. And what I like what I've seen with the voter turnout, that more and more people are starting to see. We have the power to change this from happening.
Mm-hmm.
We have to just continue going to these polls. I heard President Obama say it the other night. He said, well, people were saying, well, my vote don't count. He said, has anybody ever tried for all of us to vote at the same time?
Mm-hmm.
If the whole country vote, what happens? It'll be a powerful movement, but I want to get back to the young man that got shot too. And I think where we need to go to is something that they was talking about on TV, is that police officers should not be dealt that responsibility of dealing with mental ill patients.
Mm-hmm.
They need to have a mental illness professional
I agree.
to be there on duty with the police. If they haven't called, you're going to send the police. You can send the police, but you send a mental health specialist
Mm-hmm.
to go deal with that issue. And what I've read up on is that Philadelphia actually had a law passed, or actually Pennsylvania had a law passed saying that they would have that, but it wasn't enacted yet. They didn't have the people in place that to do it. But
They will now.
Law on it. And that's the thing. Could you imagine if they had that law in place, his life would have been saved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you on that. The police are not there to deal with mental illness. We know the history of the police officers and how they disregard black life, but at the end of the day, they still need to have mental units in place. You don't call the police when you're dealing with a mentally ill person. You call a mentally ill person to deal with that person. If you call the police to deal with a mentally ill person, bad things are going to tend to happen because they're not trained in that area. They're not trained in that field. So you need to get a person who deals with mental illness to deal with that field. In terms of the protests sparking up in this country, okay, they should be right. They should have the right to protest and everything and be upset. But my question is, where do we go from here? The answer, to stop all this from happening, to stop the George Floyds, to stop the Breonna Taylor, to stop the Walter Wallaces. The only thing we can do is vote. Know who these people are. That's why I keep on telling you. I'm going to keep on saying it until y'all get it. Know who these people are. Know who your council members are. Know who is in the local election. Know who's in power at your state. You know, if you know who's in power at your state, you can follow the pattern. You know who appoints the district attorneys. Know who appoints all that stuff. And it comes through the power of vote. You can vote them out. That's why your vote counts. Now, I know some people say my vote doesn't matter. If their vote didn't matter, why make such an effort to conceal it? To conceal your vote, to stop you from voting, to do all these things, the tricks with the mail ballots and all things of that nature. Why would they make an effort to conceal the vote? It's because they fear your power. They fear your power to vote and to change things. That's why. What are your thoughts on that, Tyler?
I echo those sentiments, Daniel. I think what people keep saying, but my vote doesn't matter. Also, I'm going to add to it is, if it didn't matter, why are you seeing all these things going on during election season? If it didn't matter. The reason why is because people see that they're outnumbered. Cops, Trump supporters, all these people, they see they're outnumbered. They see that racism is on the path of being defeated.
Mm-hmm.
The path of being defeated is start for voting. And I've been saying this over the last few months. Voting doesn't solve all your problems. It's the start to solving all your problems. It's the process that you got to continue.
Yep.
And also, I want to say too is that we have to. It's more black people getting killed in places we don't even know about.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know in my town there was a black guy killed, but it didn't get that much news coverage on it. And that's the thing, getting killed by police. What we have to do is on all these incidents, we need to bring them out there, and we have to stand on them and stand by them.
Yep.
We can't just let them. We got to hold these people accountable.
I agree.
Because for so long, black people, when certain things go on, we be like, okay, what did that person do to get killed? We got to change that thinking.
Yeah.
It don't matter if the person was a model citizen or not. They should be killed by the police officers.
Yep.
For committing nonviolent crime.
Mm-hmm. If you also, in terms of dealing with nonviolent crimes, and also if the person is mentally ill, I say it again, that if a person is mentally ill, you are not equipped. A police officer not equipped to handle that situation. They are equipped. They are trained to take down people and even kill people. Sometimes they shoot first and ask questions later. And to those officers, they need to be held accountable. But I'm going to make this statement. Not all police officers are bad or dangerous or what have you. There are some good officers, but the good officers need to stand up against the ones that are doing wrong. Because if you don't stand up, you're complacent. You're saying to people that, oh, it's okay to do this. Because there's going to be no consequences.
Yep. And what people say with defund the police, I don't like that rhetoric with defund the police, because you're saying is black people are going to be more affected by that, because police officers that you have out there, they're not getting paid already.
Yep.
So think about that. You defund the police. Look at it. The police officers, that's when a taser was needed.
Mm-hmm.
When this guy got killed. And they used a taser on him, they could have calmed him down.
Yeah.
Police officers in that community did not have a taser. And I remember I was in class in high school, and this black guy in my class, his father is a police officer. And he was saying that the police department he works at, they only give them a gun. They don't get all this high-tech things. And I feel too. Police officers, they need to refrain from trying to use excessive force. Just use common sense.
Yeah.
What's going to best work for you at the moment? If you have to use that taser to calm that person down, use the taser, but don't use it to kill them.
Mm-hmm.
Don't use it to torture them. That's different. You have to do your job.
Yeah.
Stop trying to be judge, jury, and executioner.
Mm-hmm.
Your job is to get them to the police station or get them to wherever.
Yeah.
And stop and make sure everybody is safe.
And contain the situation, yeah.
And I was watching this is when the George Floyd thing happened. It was these guys in Louisiana. They were gun owners, and I think I don't know if it was a biker gang or not. But these guys, they was going around, they was calling the cops because these white supremacists were out here terrorizing people.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff. And they called the police, and the police told them, well, we're not here to stop the problem. We come after the problem. The incident happened. We going to contain it. And the guy said, I thought about that. What the cop said, he said, you got a point. So he said, you know what we going to do? Wherever there's trouble at, we come with our guns to protect the people.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, too, where as black people, we're going to have to protect our citizens.
We got to protect our own community
first, and then we got to protect those white allies.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. We got to take, if we want policing done, we going to have to take, and we going to have to show them.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of black people saying, well, this is white people, they started this, and it's their problem. They need to learn how to solve it. No, that is an ignorant statement debate. Because don't you want to be at the table when decisions are being made about you?
Yep.
Because white people cannot make decisions on you without your input.
Yeah, on your behalf.
It's not going to ever get fixed, and that's the problem. A lot of times, we keep on waiting on white people to solve our problems. We got to take the lead and tell them this is how we do it.
Yep, and take charge and solve the problem.
Because it's something I've seen. The lady called, her name is Nicole Hannah Jones. She works for the New York Times.
Yeah.
Black lady. And she did something called the 1619 Project, and it's basically telling you everything about revisionist history and teaching you the actual history of America and how what blacks did. But Donald Trump is fighting her and her organization for doing it. And what I say with people is this: we have to take ownership about our race, our culture, everything.
Yes.
We're the only culture in the world to where we own none of our stuff. Somebody else owns it. We have to take ownership of our music, our houses, our neighborhoods, our schools, our government, everything.
Yep, I agree with those sentiments.
That's the thing, like, you know, we graduated from a school called John C. Smith. You know who John C. Smith was? A white guy.
It was a white man. It was the white man.
And you know,
when I found that out, I was like, wow. We don't even own it. It's not even our school. It's their school that they gave to us.
Yeah. And a lot of these black colleges are like that. And that's the thing I'm saying. We got to get things that we have ownership of. And we can lead the world on how we want to be treated. We can lead the world on how this new America is going to be.
Yep.
And that's the thing, too. We have to take the lead.
And part of that,
we got to take the lead. We got to stop being pawns in these little
go ahead,
white people's games.
Yep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We can't be pawns in white liberal games. We can't be
pawns in white conservatives.
Games. We can't be pawns in white conservative games.
I agree with those sentiments. I have one thing to add on to it. The most thing you can do with this is be politically educated. Know who these people are.
Yes,
know who your council members are. All these things are happening. You need to know because they're the ones who make decisions on your behalf. And if they're making decisions that you don't agree with, you can vote them out. That's how every other community does it when they have a decision. They have a person in power. They're making decisions on their behalf that they're not agreeing with. They just vote them out. No questions asked. They want this thing. They want their agenda done. And so also what we need to do as black people is demand what we need to be done. Okay? Make a plan. Like whether it's 10-step program or a 20-step program and demand, hey, this is what I want done. If you don't make these things done, you're getting out. I'm not gonna support you. If you don't want to get these things done. Once you're in power. Once you're in power, then you don't get these things done, okay, you're gonna get voted out. We have to demand change. And part of demanding change is making plans and making moves. And demanding what you need to be done and taking action. There's a scripture in the Bible that says faith without works is dead. You can't be talking about, oh, we need this, we need that, but you don't want to put in the work in. That applies not just to being politically educated, but everything in life. You can't just be like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And God's going to send me this and God's going to send me that. But you don't want to put in the work. You got to put in the work.
Like the coronavirus. It's like the coronavirus. People keep saying, well, God is going to stop this coronavirus and he's going to do this and it could end tomorrow. Yes. God, but where the part I think people are wrong at is God already healed it. He already told us what to do.
Yeah.
He already put people in place to tell us what to do. But we keep being stupid. So he's saying, you want to stay at home for 3 years, you can do it. You want to do it 10 years, you want to do it the rest of your life. Do it. So you put on those masks, and so you listen to these healthcare professionals that God has equipped with knowledge. We're not going to get anywhere.
Yep.
That's what people don't understand. Knowledge is everything.
Yep. People thinking about, don't listen to the experts. You got people saying don't listen to the experts. But I was like, God has equipped these people. God uses these people to equip them with the knowledge to be like, hey, listen, you need to wear a mask. All you have to do is it's a mask. Come on now. You can't wear a mask? Really? It's simple a device. You take it, you put it on your face, and you can walk out. Nothing changes about you. Your personality is not going to change. All you got to do is just take the mask, buy it, and just wear it on your face wherever you go. That's it. This gets me frustrated when people don't wear the mask.
I hear a lot of people saying they don't like masks. I'm like, who the hell does?
Yeah. You think I want to wear a mask? No.
It's about you liking it. It's about you protecting your neighbor, protecting your elderly family member.
Yes.
Your family member with a pre-existing condition.
Yes.
Protecting yourself. Do you not love your family? And what I want to say too, if you don't care about anybody, you're living a sad life.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what America used to be about, caring about one another.
Yeah.
Loving your neighbor.
Yep. But now it's become so selfish, so self-centered and arrogant. We don't need to listen to the scientists. Yes, you do.
Yep.
Otherwise, you can continue to suffer in this pandemic.
Yep. Black people, if we're going to get together, if we're going to move forward, we have to stand together.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make no sense. Every time you get black people stand together, another one wants to do something ignorant and down the movement or do something stupid to mess stuff up.
And speaking of the people like that,
stand together.
Yep, stand together, come together. And speaking of people who are doing something ignorant, you have 50 Cent telling people to support Trump. And now you got Lil Wayne, the rapper, going up to Donald Trump. This the racist, white supremacist in chief, telling them they took a picture together. How do you feel about that situation?
I think I touched up on this last week a little bit with 50 Cent Ice Cube, and I'm somebody of the mindset I'm against canceling people, but at this point, I feel if you're doing things that's harming people, you gotta be held accountable.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I personally, I'm not gonna tell nobody not to listen to Lil Wayne's music. I'm personally not gonna listen to his music anymore because I feel you was one of those kids in poverty growing up, and you defied all odds because of your talent, your genius, to get to where you at. But God blessed you. But you're taking that blessing for granted. And you're basically like, you're using black people. You're going out there, and I have a problem with this because when Floyd Mayweather, he's always been a Trump supporter. He always liked Trump. And I don't have a problem with Floyd Mayweather because he liked Trump because I guess he knew him before politics. Yeah. And he's always been him, but he's never told anybody to go support Trump. And that's where I don't. Floyd Mayweather is the only person I can say that's a Trump supporter that I don't really, I never lost respect for because he likes Trump for his own personal reasons. Yeah. But I feel with these other black celebrities and stuff, they're going in, they want to go see Trump, but they're using black people as a way for them to go see Trump. Mm-hmm. And I don't like that. They're playing as a pawn, playing us like a pawn in their game, and he's playing them like a pawn in his game. Yeah. And I think it's unfair to the community. And I feel that you're cooning. Mm-hmm. I don't like using that word. That's a word I don't usually use, but that's what it is. You're cooning, you're sell out, all that. Yeah. Your definition. And I want all these black people that was calling out our brother Steve Harvey to go after these guys. Not physically, but I'm talking about as far as hold them accountable. Yep. And publicly shame them for what they do. Yeah, because that's something that, to me, that's something that's like, you are selling out the community by doing that. You know, going to people that you know to be racist, that you know to be white supremacists. Floyd Mayweather, he's Floyd Mayweather. I always respect him as a boxer and everything else. He likes Trump for personal reasons. Okay, fine. But if you're doing it for political reasons, you're telling people to actually support this man politically. I disagree because you know his character. For the past 40 years, he has shown you consistently who his character is and who he is as a person. He has shown you that he don't like black people, but you're going to tell black people to support him with Lil Wayne and 50 Cent's actions. What those two have done is effectively, as you call it, cooning and selling out, or being what I call house Negroes. Now, I don't like to use that word. That's one of those ignorant statements, but I call a spade a spade. If you're doing something to appease a white supremacist, you are by definition a coon and a house Negro. And then you're going to have the audacity to be like, I'm the only Negro out here. I'm the only Negro out here. There's a reason for that. You a house Negro. I hate to say this word, but it needs to be said. If you are supporting somebody who you know
to be a racist, who you know to be a white supremacist, who you know has dictator aspirations or it basically wants to be a wannabe dictator, then and you support it, you support him anyway, I'm gonna call you out. You are a coon and a house Negro. It is what it is. Don't get mad because of your actions that you took. And then 50 Cent talking about, oh, I was just playing. I wasn't serious. You were serious. The only reason you saying that now is because it's affecting your money. It affects your dollar. And there's a phrase that people like to use: follow the money. You just follow the money, and this is who he supports. It's like, oh, if I'm losing money, then I got to change my statement. I was just playing. I wasn't serious. If you were just playing, then don't say no ignorant statement like this. Read the room, know the times, know the situation, know what's going on around you. 50. Yeah, I'm calling you out. Curtis Jackson, aka 50 Cent. I'm calling you out, man. Like, you don't do that. Know what's going on around you. Come on, man. Like, and also you came up. I read your autobiography, man. You came up struggling from poverty. You use your God-given ability to rap and to make music. You started out drug dealing, but then you turned to rapping and use your God-given ability to get out of the situation you were in. And now you're this big-time successful rapper and quote-unquote businessman. But you're making ignorant decisions. And 50 Cent, I'm going to tell you, I don't hate you. I don't even dislike you. But the way how you're going about things is ignorant and foolish, man. You don't do that. Tell people to vote and support for Trump. Why? What has he done for black people? Has he done anything concrete or tangible for black people? Now, you may have some disagreement with the Democratic Party. Yes, they've taken our vote for granted. Yes, in the past. Yes, I will admit that. But we're going to hold them accountable, too, on what they do. But in terms of Trump, you know he's a racist. You know he's a white supremacist. But you're going to tell people to vote for him anyway. I can't deal with you like that, man. You got to use better judgment. Or as the Christian community says it, use the spirit of discernment. You got to discern these situations. What are your thoughts on that, Ty?
I echo all those sentiments.
Yeah.
They said what I'm thinking.
Yeah. And to all these black pro-Trump supporters, I say this. Listen, I get that you're tired of the Democratic Party taking advantage of us and everything else, and they have taken us for granted. I'm just going to blatantly say it. They have. No policy, nothing tangible. But we can work with them. Why? Because they have proven their character, who they are as people. Yes, they're politicians. Yes, it's all fluff at times. Yes, Lyndon B. Johnson was a racist, flat out. But we can actually work with them. Trump and the Republicans, you know their history. You know how they operate. You know their character. It's not about policy or politics. It's about who you are as a person. If I had to choose between Trump and Biden, I would choose Biden every time because I look at his character. I look at who he is. Now I don't personally know him, but I look at his character and how he speaks and how he carries himself versus how Trump carries himself. I can't go with Trump because look at what he did in the past 4 years, and I disagree with him. Now, to all the pro-black Trump supporters, I'm just saying that you got to know who a person's character is before you go out and support him. Now, you make the statement of I'm free from the Democratic plantation, but you go into the Republican plantation because the Republicans are using you. That's all they are. They're just using you as props. Now, there are some Democrats who use black people as well, but I'm saying that the Republicans are more users than Democrats are. You know that they're using you. You know that they are. They're using you as a prop to see, look at how these Negroes are supporting me. They may not say it straight to your face, but that's what they're thinking. Versus a Democrat, you can work with them. Because you look at their character, you look at their history, you look at their policy. Now, you might want to bring up the 94 crime bill. Was it wrong? In terms of the effects, yes. It should not have locked up black people incarcerated for minor crime, for minor drug crime. But Joe Biden told you what the deal was. He told you that what it was for. Originally, it wasn't for black people being put in the jails. It was for rehabilitation and everything like that. He's explained to you multiple times that, hey, it was a mistake to do it. But he's trying to turn that around. Trump, he's not trying to turn nothing around. He's trying to go back to the old school racism and bring that back. And that's what he's been trying to do for the past 40 years. That's what he's trying to do, bring that old school racism. Now, I know some of these black people, what they're going to say next. Kamala Harris, she not really black. She locked black people up. She has a history of locking black people up. Look at her track record. Look at her track record. She's a prosecutor. That's her job, to lock people up. Now, in terms of black people being locked up, were they unjustified? At this time, I have to go back and look at Kamala Harris' track record. But I will say this about her track record. Hey, most of the people that she's locked up, sorry to say this, they deserve to be locked up. They were drug dealers. They were. Now, the few cases that did catch my eye, where things were questionable, I call her out on that too. But you look at a person's character, look at who they are as people. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris is the best choice in terms of character and bringing America to a better place and for change. Trump, he is for not for change, but for regression instead of progression. That's all I have to say about these quote unquote pro-black Trump supporters. I get your frustrations with the Democratic Party. I'm frustrated with the Democratic Party half of the time. How they took advantage of us. But the Republicans are no better. So I would say this. Before you go and vote and support somebody, look at their background, look at their character, look at their policies, look at what they want to do for you, and look at the clear-cut decisions. Look at their character, look at how they carry themselves. Encompass all that, take all that in before you just rush out to support somebody. Your vote matters. Don't pretend. Don't let anybody tell you different. That's my sentiment. Tyler, any thoughts?
100% right. I echo all those sentiments.
Yeah. And in terms of the police brutality situation in Philadelphia, I say this. When it comes to police brutality, you have to know who's in power. You have to. You don't know who's in power, the things continue to happen, and you can't vote them out. You know who your mayors are, know who your council members are, know who your district attorneys are, know who your senators are in your state, and then you can either vote them in or vote them out based upon the decisions that they make. Because they're initiating policies that affect you, where you live. So I say be very politically educated. Know about policies, know about gerrymandering, know about filibustering, what they do in the House and the Senate. And be politically educated. Don't be a political chum, as Malcolm X said. How you don't know anything about the politician, but you're going to vote for him anyway, just because he's from a certain party. But you don't know anything about him. Research. Technology is available. Google's available. Look up their history. Look up their biography. Look up their policy. Then make an informed and educated decision based upon that. And so this pretty much concludes the podcast of the Davenport Black Evolution. But before we go, Tyler Klutch Robinson has an announcement that he wants to make. Go ahead, Tyler.
The announcement will be made on next week's episode.
Yep. I want to say this. Yep. Tune in next week with Tyler Klutch Robinson. He's going to be on the podcast and he's going to express his views on a certain topic. This is Davenport for the Black Evolution, and I am signing off. This is outro music.